All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Reader. So we are going to be taking a look at Fun, DWAC, and Mark going into next week. And look, next week is the big week, right? Because again, what is next week? It is the 8th. And what happens on the 8th? It is this Nevada Caucus, all right? So I'm going to come back to this calendar a couple times, but this was Caucus 1, this was Caucus 2. What are we expecting for Caucus 3? Look, I don't have a crystal ball, right? Like, I don't know what the future holds, but I'm going to give you my thoughts. And you know, most of them will be driven off of these beautiful little colorful lines, all right? But I talked about volume being the lull this week. I think it's easy to say it was, but I'm glad the price didn't drop. That's a big thing going into next week, all right? With Mark, hey, I'll be honest with you. I thought this was a Trump stock. Obviously, it is now starting to run because of this Microsoft thing, right? So I will give you my thoughts. To me, today was actually 100% of a technical bounce, all right? So I don't think it actually was the news that made it pop. Obviously, everyone's going to kind of connect it to that, right? And I'll mention it again. But yeah, it looked like a technical move to me, all right? So before we go any further and I give you more of my thoughts and opinions, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We're going to take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. Excuse me, we have our 5 moving averages. There's a lot of them, but there are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe to this channel, share this video online with your friends, comment good or bad, even if you disagree. I'm telling you, anything you can do helps so much with these YouTube algorithms. If you can click that share button, oh my, it does the most. But for real, just being here, giving me your valuable time, oh, I'm so grateful for it all right? So, fun. I really want to go back to my comments on last week's video. And really, this did a lot better than I expected, despite kind of doing what I thought it was going to do, all right? And if you watch my videos, it's not something I say every video, but there is a golden rules video. I'll put it right here, 232. Sorry, I'm writing a note to myself to not forget this. There's a golden, blah, blah, blah. You already know because I just posted it right here. Volume is king, okay? Volume is king. And my issue very much becomes when you see that, we went from 1.5 billion to not even 100 million. Like, we've moved a complete decimal over. And then we went ahead and basically dropped almost 40% from there, right? Like, you can even just see it right here. We have basically given up an easy 90% as we sit down here on that volume scale. Actually, a little bit more because I'm clicking at 143 and it's actually at 61, right? So, dude, volume has been rough, okay? Price hasn't. Price has held. Now, you know I wanted to break and run, right? But my big fear was losing the 8 and coming down to the 20. I kept saying, hey, it could do that and I would still be bullish. It did even better and just stayed. Look, I always joke that I don't like when a stock goes horizontal. I would much rather just put my money in the bank at that point. It goes horizontal and I get less gray hairs, you know what I mean? But like this is actually a strong horizontal in my opinion. I'm surprised it didn't drop here. I'm surprised it didn't drop here. I'm just, yeah, we held, okay? And look, none of these 2 candles are beautiful, okay? So I know, yes, we have been over the moving averages for the last couple days, but neither of them is beautiful. But hey, I guess in a lot of ways, I'd rather be above them than below them going into next week, right? Again, I can't just stress enough. We need volume to hit. That's where I come into this calendar. Look, my theory was this was going to be a very slow week. Today's the Democratic Caucus. I don't really have a lot of weight going into this one. I don't know if it's already happened. It hasn't because it's on the 3rd. Today's the 2nd. So, you know, but hey, maybe they say something about Trump and it fuels it. I don't know, right? To me, it's all about the 8th, okay? Now look, there was a really good comment, because one of the things I was talking about was, can I go back and see January? No, this is only, skip to past dates. Hold on, I'm going to pause this. I want to make sure, give me a sec. I don't know what happens when I click that. Give me a sec. Okay, I'm back. Nothing at all happens. Okay, so let me just show you where we were. We were up here. I click skip to past, and then we come to the ones that stop. So look, on the 15th and the 23rd is when the big things happen, right? Come the 16th, and then again come this day, which was the 23rd, right? Those were the two of the big pops. One thing I talked about was this buy the rumor, sell the news thing, all right? The first one did this, okay? All of a sudden, the rumor became the next one's going to do the same thing, all right? And in some ways, hey, it did take us actually just about as high as this one, not quite, right? But it didn't quite do the same thing. So my concern was that the upcoming ones that are up there, right, might not do the same thing. I think the big comment that I really enjoyed hearing was, again, the big reason probably was the fact that DeSantis dropped. I think it was, number one, Trump did so well. I remember the percentages being silly. But I think number two was a big name falling, right? And I don't know if it's going to take Nikki dropping to do the same thing. Like, I don't know if Trump just winning is enough, right? Again, 3 in a row is a pretty big thing. If he can win by a lot, these two, look at the delegate numbers. So this one was 40. This one was 22. I believe, no, it's not this one. It's this one, the 24th. This one's the bigger one. This one's 50. So, but again, Nevada's no joke. That's a solid 26. I actually already forgot the two numbers down there. I think 50 was bigger than both of them. Damn. It was. Look at that. And actually the 26 of Nevada makes it the second biggest to date, right? So, you know, again, it's one of those things where I think the hype going to the 8th might be nicer than the Friday reaction on the 9th. That's what I'm assuming right now, all right? And for me, what I really need to happen, I had to zoom out to look. Oh, that's why I have both lines. So this 41 line, I have a resistance at 41 cents, and that's being drawn from this late July of last year candle, all right? That was the gap fill border of what we're hunting after this, okay? Just above it, I have another line at 43 cents. And that is, it should be at 42 cents. You know, we're not here for perfect. It's good enough. That's basically driven from that 16th giant 450% candle. I can't even say that without laughing. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm going to keep these two lines. It looks like 44 cents is the real big money line. Here's the thing though, right? From 34, that's where we're sitting right now as of Friday. 34 all the way to 41 is a real big percentage. So in some ways, this might be a sexy channel to trade. I'm trying to do some fly in, like, that's at least more than 10% right there, because I'm adding more than 4 cents. I'm adding almost 5 cents right there, right? So that's not a bad double digit right there, but the real line is gonna be above this 43 cents. That is where red could be a real fast green to 60. And again, I actually think the hype up might get us close to that. Hey, maybe the win on Friday takes us to that. I can't really think about 60, 59, whatever you want to call it, until something happens to 43, because again, one more time, that's a decent distance from here and there, okay? I haven't even talked about the 200 moving average yet, right? But you know I've said it, I'm not going to spend too much time on it. But look, we have been well under that 200 moving average. it's one of the, it is what it is. You know what I mean? And when you've only hit it a little bit in such a long time, it's a hard line to break away from. There's a difference between just over it and breaking, right? So I need to believe that we have gotten over, that we have destroyed and beaten and broken this pesky line before I start getting really, really, really excited. And again, that's 43 cents to me, okay? Coming to down here, coming to our lower indicators, all right? Again, not the best of candles, but we're over the moving averages. Not the best of MACD, but hey, we're positive. And hey, we have green over red. And man, I'm zooming in hard, but you can call them parallel. You can kind of say it like, I'm kind of seeing it want to go away and diverge a little bit, all right? To the RSI, to me, I love a low 60. I actually think I like a low 60 more than a low 50 because I feel like 50 is too close to the 30 low end. I think 60 is close enough to the 80 high end that it wants to go back up. This thing is just sitting patiently waiting to kind of do one of these again is just what it feels like, right? And again, the one I think last part, I'm going to talk about the negative, right? You know I've been talking about the good. I'm still going to say it. There's still a chance we lose the 8 and come down to the 20. The best thing is, though, it's not that big a fall. It's now only this little bit of a fall. Again, no one wants to lose 10 cents. That's actually a 33% loss, give or take, right? But it would have been a much bigger loss if it happened earlier, okay? So, yeah, I'm not a fan of horizontal, but I think it's not that bad that it was horizontal. I think that was the best it could have done for the expected lull, and hopefully we start to turn the juice on as the news picks up, all right? And hey, let's see if that Democratic one does anything over the weekend. Excuse me. This is an interesting weekly, right? Because again, a couple things I'm seeing, and it kind of echoes that 200 moving average, so that's what the 50 does in my head, but you know, there is a golden cross. When a smaller one goes over a big one, that's called a golden cross. That's a good thing, all right? What I'm just really, really missing here are some good back-to-back candles. This was a huge candle. Neither of these are as good as confirmation as I want. I know, I don't know the name of it. I think it's a shooting star or something like that. This is a type of doji. I'm not exactly sure if it's a bullish one or a bearish one, right? But it's an interesting doji on the weekly, and I think it echoes this is either going to make a big move up kind of the week after the doji, or man, yeah, it might come back down to this 25 cents. Again, a big move, but I'm expecting a big move here. Up, not right here. I'm right here. I'm expecting a big move one way or the other. You know what I mean? So, yeah, again, weekly volume has been going down. Obviously, that's going to be the case if that's the daily volume, right? But again, I think the lull was expected. The pickup should come, all right? DWAC, look, I think a lot of the thoughts are going to end up being the same, right? So I will probably chapter these two together. I do apologize if you were fast forwarding to this one, so I'm not going to echo it too much. But look, I was expecting a lull this week, right? I kept echoing those across the videos. Just no news was expected this week because next week is when the Republican caucuses come. And look, even the Democratic ones haven't even started yet. It's tomorrow. It's on the 3rd, right? So I was worried that we were going to lose the 8 and come down to the 20, but no, we stayed horizontal. I generally don't like horizontal, but this wasn't bad. This actually is almost bullish in its own way, you know? And again, there was a lull. I think coming to next week, it should hopefully pick up. This is an interesting one. Dude, I don't even need that much. Let me go to the weekly. Damn. What are you? Wow, get out of here. Hold on. What was your open? Nice. We broke into that. Okay, hold on. Let me say my thoughts instead of just nice. Let me. Oh man. Okay, I might have to unbreak. Okay. So here's what's happening. I came to DWAC weekly and I clicked on this January, February, March. This January, February, March, April, end of April weekly calendar. And you can see on the second line, it opens at 39.98, okay? This is the only green candle in a horrible red that was actually most of 2022 on DWAC, okay? I like that we've broken into this. That's why I said nice, because it makes me feel like we're going to want to come up a decent amount of that and maybe head to 48.90. This is a weekly chart, okay? So I don't know if that's going to happen, you know, over the course of a couple days on a single day and come down, right? But it seems like the fact that we've closed above it, because again, we closed at 40 and this thing was under 40. It was 39.98, right? So that's, again, can't get too excited over one candle, right? But that was a good candle that broke the 100. That was a great confirmation candle after it. And hey, it's another green one in the uptrend, right? So, dude, crazy high RSI in the 93, but it's a strong divergence on the MACD. So, yeah, look, this is a healthy 69. All right. Usually I'd say, you know, 80 is kind of what we're hunting, but my goodness, right? RSI was at 98, 98, 92, 89, 82, 84 for that entire string, right? So, you know, I think 69 could be healthy, even if it doesn't go as high as that super crazy 90s, right? Like 69 to 85 is still a good run, right? So, look, I really think that if this thing just yeah, I'll do 41.11. I'll set an alert for 41.11. Give me a little bit more, and I'm going to start hunting that 44 and, you know, that after. I would not think about this 57 line until this breaks. This 49.75, 49.80 might actually be a little bit of hard line. I'm not going to draw it. I don't think I need to draw it, but just keep an eye on that. But don't think above 57. One of my favorite commenters, he knows who he is. Someone dropped, I think, $100. No, that was on another one. My bad. But yeah, I think someone else put like a $300 target on this one. Come on. This is a $40 stock. Just keep things, because again, if you're going from 40 to almost 60, you're adding $20 on a $40 stock. That's a 50% run, right? So like, if you're expecting 90 something, it gets to 50 something and you're still expecting more, you might miss what was a good bank right there as it comes back. That's why I like saying slow and steady and like this and that. Don't get me wrong. I would love the rocket, right? Like, I get it, man. Trump has some crazy powers, but slow and steady ain't a bad thing. All right, I'm going to give this its own chapter. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. Otherwise, excuse me. Let's come into Mark. All right. So, it's hard to think about where to even start here. Real quick, actually, I'll start here. If you can please subscribe, if you can please share this video, it helps so much with the YouTube algorithms. Let's talk about the big green candle, right? I know I made a video on it, but let's talk about it. Listen, I say this with love and no offense at all, but when a BS stock gets connected to a big, arguably top 5 company in the world company, crazy things will happen. Mark was a 34-cent stock the day before the run. I call it BS with love. Believe me, Remark Holdings is a billion times better than this chart reader thing that I'm growing here, right? So like when I say BS, it's definitely in retrospect, right? But like, you know, not retrospect, I don't know what the word is. Again, I'm not here for words. But this thing was a 34-cent stock. That's a BS stock. That's a penny stock, right? When you can drop a Twitter thing that tags Microsoft and says, we're partnering, that's when you're going to get a 264% crazy candle, you know? From there, what ended up happening from what it, and you know, I love my viewers, man. We have a beautiful two-way street. You give me the fundamental, the news info that you know I don't take the time to look at, and I give you the technical sides that you know I love looking at, right? So a lot of people were saying that the Remark Acer deal was not as big as that tweet made it sound. Now, there were billion-dollar numbers. There was a lot of growth thoughts. Like, I'm not necessarily saying that was fake, but from the way the comments were coming in, it seemed like the expected timeline was an immediate boom, boom, boom. That wasn't the case based on like Microsoft's earnings and you know, kind of comments towards it and this and that, right? But it sounded like it was about a 5-year deal. It sounded like it was a little bit of a, there's some stuff that also needs to happen and this and that, right? So, you know, I'm at least kind of calling this. I'm a little surprised that we closed under the 200. One thing I know I talked about was the 75-cent line, right? I started this video by saying I think today was a technical move more than anything, and that's because, look, when you have, how many is that? Is that 4? Get out of here. That's 3, sorry, but damn, look how tight that is. The average 20, the average 50, the average 100, the orange, red, and blue lines over there, they're all at 50 cents to the penny. When you have 3 of the baddest of the 5, right? When all 3 are this tight, you're generally going to come here and you're generally going to bounce. And it made sense to me that the bounce was going to be so strong that it actually ran to the 200 in the morning too. I saw that, man. I did. Again, it kind of makes sense to me as well that it didn't hold. All right. I like the fact that it at least closed over the 8 moving average, okay? I like the fact that today's volume very much smashed these two, because now I get to use the word accumulation. It looks like over the last 4 days, way more people have bought it and decided to hold it over the weekend than dump it off. I like that. That's a good accumulation story. I like it when people are saying, I want these shares. Give me them. Give them to me over the week. Look, I joke, okay? And this has nothing to do with Mark specifically. This is across. You never know if this weekend the CFO is going to be found embezzling stuff. If the CEO is going to be caught with a little 6-year-old boy or girl, like, there are some crazy people in executive offices that have done some silly things. Imagine something happens over the weekend when you can't sell, and come Monday morning, everyone, like, it's scary to hold over the weekend, especially if you're holding a lot of money. All right, I'm going to be honest with you. I like it that this is telling me that's what people are doing. You know what I mean? That's why I like accumulation. So I need this to get back over the 200 moving average. For now, I'll tell you, my actual target is the 75-cent line again. We've gone to the top of the channel. We've gone to the bottom of the channel. I think we're going to try to go to the top of the channel. The worst thing would be coming down to 55 cents. Because if this starts to come to 55, 54, all of a sudden my worry is we're going to come back down to 50, okay? However, I am looking for this to go up to 75. That's not a bad MACD. That's not a bad RSI. Hey, is this a Trump stock? Does this have anything to do with Trump? I haven't really mentioned him here. And like I said, I started this video like covering this because on the 16th was the Trump stock move. On the 22nd, 23rd was the Trump stock move. So that's actually what I really thought this was. Let me know if otherwise, right? But right now, the Microsoft thing is what I think matters more. I'm not looking at the weekly. I think the daily matters more. I looked at the weekly. I lied. And look, this thing's basically saying 82 cents-ish. Let's keep 75 cents as our target for now. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. Oh, man, I appreciate you all so much.